Global warming. The Earth is heating up, and most scientists believe that it's all our fault. When we burn fossil fuels, greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide increase and surround the Earth like a thick blanket. This traps heat and temperatures rise. Scientists say that in the next 100 years, average temperatures will rise by about 5 to 9 degrees Fahrenheit. This doesn't sound like a lot, but it means big trouble. Ice is already melting, sea levels are rising, and the climate is changing. How exactly is all this changing our world, and what will happen if we don't act in time? Cities under the sea. According to recent climate reports, melting ice from the polar ice caps and mountain glaciers could cause sea levels to rise by about 3 feet by 2100. If this happens, whole countries such as the Maldives will vanish, and millions in low-lying areas like parts of Bangladesh will lose their homes. Already, 2 small Pacific islands have disappeared under the waves. Coastal cities including Shanghai, Bangkok, New York, and London will also be under threat. In Greenland, ice is melting 3 times faster than just a few years ago. If the ice sheets of Greenland and Antarctica ever melt completely, sea levels will rise about 200 feet. That's enough to cover almost every major city on Earth. Wildlife in great danger. Global warming is a serious threat to wildlife. In particular, Arctic polar bears are in great danger. The ice that they hunt from is melting very fast, so they have to swim further and further to find food. Many starve or drown. By 2100, summer ice may disappear completely in the Arctic, and polar bears probably won't survive. Changing weather patterns and rising sea levels threaten thousands of other species too. Some people believe that 30 to 40% of the world's species could become extinct because of climate change. Wild, wild weather. Heavy rain and snow, storms, heat waves, droughts, more powerful hurricanes and tornadoes. These all happen a lot more frequently these days, and more climatologists now believe this is because of global warming. When sea temperatures rise, there are changes in the atmosphere. If you live in a chilly place, you might think global warming sounds great. But climate change doesn't just mean hotter temperatures. It means more and more extreme and unpredictable weather. So, what on earth can we do? Reduce your carbon footprint. Cycle, walk, or take a bus instead of traveling by car. Use energy-saving bulbs and wear more clothes instead of turning up the heat. Experts say we must do something now. If sea levels start rising even faster, it will be impossible to stop.